Aloha and welcome everyone to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, you've just got to stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom in the Waikapu Bay Shard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and President of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. And it's my privilege to introduce Dean Wong, who needs no introduction. He's been on the show a few times. Dean's going to be our co-host for today. How you doing and how things at Imua Family Services?
Things are great, and I am feeling stupendous today.
Whoa.
So, how's that? That's
Spell that one.
my word for the day. So each week here during this hour, we share the experiences of how our nonprofit agencies are working to benefit our island home with stories of how these agencies are changing lives. And they really are changing lives. They're changing communities, and they're creating miracles of hope for those in need. And today we have, and I'm about to read the world's smallest writing, we have Marshall Norman. And Marshall, tell us what your title is up at Job Corps.
So I'm the Group Life Manager up at Hawaii Job Corps. So I oversee recreation, career counseling, and also residential living facilities at the center.
Excellent. And we also have Todd Watkins here. Todd, what's your title? You're the student
Personnel officer, yeah. So that just means everything to do with student affairs, the good and the bad, and the student government.
And then Lena Kamai, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're a student at Job Corps.
Yes.
And what's that like?
Well, we kind of just deal with everything, typical student. We're on Job Corps. We came there to make a difference for ourselves, so
Okay.
we're pretty much our own boss, but we have bigger bosses there.
You don't strike me as a typical student at all. Tell us what it is that you're studying up at Job Corps.
I'm studying facilities maintenance trade with AJ DeLima, so I'm pretty much learning everything from him concerning the grounds up, building and maintaining a facility, pretty much.
Excellent. And you're getting towards the end of your time up at Job Corps, right, in your training?
Yes.
Okay. When did you start?
I started last July. The program I started last July, but then I started my trade the first week of August.
Excellent. And how has the experience been for you?
It's been awesome. It's actually taught me a lot, not only to grow in my knowledge of facilities maintenance, but as well as a person and around people who you're supposed to be professional around.
So now, were you also taking educational courses at the same time?
Actually, yeah, I have leadership classes, not mainly academics, because I passed my tape testing, but I do have leadership classes, and I'm in the tutor group, so I help the students up there who need tutoring for math or reading, so I try to stay involved.
Very good. So the students help each other out.
Exactly. We all try to help each other out.
Okay. Because some students who arrive there do not have their high school diploma. They're working towards their GED. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. And so we do actually offer GED and competency-based diploma classes at Maui Job Corps Center as well. And a lot of students come in, and before they can, enter their trade-specific program, they also need, kind of a brush up on their academic ability too. So we also offer reading and math classes as well as English as a second language classes, so ESL classes in conjunction with the entire program.
And so what age group are we talking about?
Maui Job Corps and Job Corps nationally accept students ages 16 to 24.
Okay.
Okay. And how do people typically come to learn about Job Corps or find you to start the program?
Most of the time, students actually learn about Job Corps through our outreach and admissions process. So if any students that are out there on Maui right now, and interested in the Job Corps program, they can contact our outreach and admissions counselor, who is Landon Johnson. He can be contacted at 808-870-8156, and he can go through all the ins and outs of what Job Corps is and the expectations of the program. Job Corps in general, it's it's funded by the U.S. Department of Labor, so it's at no cost to the students who attend the program. The only entry qualification is it's for low-income, at-risk youth.
Wow, that's incredible. And so, Todd, you have about 120 students up at Job Corps?
Yeah, when we're at full strength, we have 128 students, and we got 3 amazing dorms that house these students. And I joke with Marshall because these dorms, when I first got here and went through the dorms, they were nicer by far than the first dorm I stayed in college. I mean, I'm telling you, the whole setup is amazing, like really like a college.
Well, your location on Maui is beautiful, you know.
Oh, absolutely! It's a $1 million view.
Yeah.
And they take pride in the facility that we have there.
And you're training people how to take care of buildings, so it's an automatic, right?
Elena is being modest because she is a woman and she works in facility maintenance, a field that's dominated by males. But she runs the show there. So ask anyone that's in there. She does a great job, and she runs those boys out there.
No, I don't run them. I'm Mom Elena to them. So they're my kids.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could tell you were being modest and not messing up your true qualities there. So what are the kinds of courses, and what are the more dominant courses that people are studying? What's really being taught?
Well, we offer 4 different trades. We have culinary, office administration, facility maintenance, and retail sales. So when students come in, they basically can explore all these different options of what jobs that are typically available here on Maui, and ways that they can work in the community, and then they can choose an actual trade to get professional training in.
Right, and is it all classroom-based training, or are you getting some on-site or real-world training as well?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's a lot of work in the classroom, make sure their academics are up to par, their reading and math. But in addition to that, they get a lot of training off-center also. In the community, we have partners throughout the island that work with us to give the students training at the actual work facilities.
Okay. Lena, where did you take any job experience training?
The paid WBL for me with the 2 weeks was at Montessori at Makawao. It was a school. It was really good experience because you can do one thing with the person who taught you, but for you to take the knowledge from the center, off center, to somebody else and show them what you're worth was really, something that I got to experience, and I'm really thankful for. So.
Nice. Now, you said your motivation to getting into facilities was really because you wanted to help your family.
Yeah, I wanted to help my dad remodel his house. We don't really have the best place, but I figured I can learn a thing or two, how to put in a door or window. But they actually taught me a lot, how to lay the concrete, electrical work so I can fix the wiring, plumbing so I can redo the bathroom.
You're going to be a great asset to your family.
Can you imagine that house in a few years?
Yeah, it's going to be one of the $1 million homes.
There you go.
It took me half a day to put a smoke detector in my house.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, that
I
would
could
probably
totally
be
use your help.
Sure.
It all takes time, and if you know how to do it, it's simple, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do it, it's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have to follow the instructions that come with any device.
Oh gosh, no, not today.
Yeah, I have problems reading instructions, but sometimes those instructions teach you the correct way to do something so that the thing lasts.
So let me ask you, are you the kind of person that reads the instructions before you attempt a job, or waits until you can't do it and then reads it after?
Before Job Corps, I would just try to do it myself, but now I read through the instructions.
Great.
She has learned something.
I've learned.
Very important lesson. So now, while you're in school, you're also getting paid?
What?
Yeah, so the students do get a stipend when they're actually enrolled at Job Corps, but everything that a student really needs to be successful in the program is provided. The only thing that we ask in return from the students is their participation in the program. So if they're willing to participate, the program will provide them room, board, academic and skills training, as well as then career readiness and transition training out into the workforce.
And I understand you eat really well because you have the culinary part of the school.
Oh, the culinary is the best. They're like my best friends.
Uh-huh.
They always feed us. Yeah, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Even on the weekends, we have brunch and dinner. So the
secret is when you go in there around 2 o'clock, they're always practicing making a dish. So if you go in there around 2 o'clock, right after lunch, they're pretty much something that's coming out of the oven. So that's when you can always get a delicious snack.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's interesting. And so now you mentioned you have 3 dorms. So are all of the students residences? in residency?
You know what? The majority of students, I would probably say about 95% of our students at this time are actually residents, but then we also have non-resident students, at the facility as well, that you either commute in or they're picked up and transported to the Job Corps Center on a daily basis.
And do the students have to pay for residency?
They do not have to pay for residency. So one of the biggest things about the program is that it's at no cost to the students.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
getting that. No cost for the training, no cost for residency, no cost for food, and they're getting paid a stipend.
Yes,
I went
correct.
to the wrong
Right.
place for my education, which I'm still paying
Exactly.
for 30 years later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for a lot of times people they wonder, well, how, if this is offered at no cost to the student, how then is it beneficial? Is it just another program that we spend a lot of money in? But the studies have found and concluded that for every $1 that's invested in Job Corps students, $2 re-enters the economy based on, on their ability to work throughout their lifetime. So it's a really good, smart financial investment for taxpayers and for the program.
Now, are the students at the Maui campus just from Maui or from all over the country, or?
Yeah, so what's great is we actually take students from Maui County, but also the entire state, and then throughout the Pacific Basin. So our population of students is just so ethnically diverse. So we have students from Samoa, from the Federated States of Micronesia, Northern Marianas, and then also the Marshall Islands, as well as the diverse cultures that we have represented in the state of Hawaii.
Wow. So that's another education.
Yeah.
How to everybody to get along.
Yeah. Todd, you mentioned opportunities for volunteering for students, and how does that play into the educational capacity up at Job Corps?
We make a big emphasis at Job Corps to make sure that we're active in our community, because that's, what we're really all about. We're ultimately going to all provide, a service of some sort in our community. So we have a student government association that is always actively involved in searching out opportunities to help in the community. Mm-hmm. We were just, the Onion Festival just made us one of their volunteer sponsors of the year. Just the fact that we are always out in the community and the students always do such a good job.
The Onion Festival up at Whalers Village?
Yes.
That one, yeah.
You get around. Yeah?
Yeah, we do.
So now the students volunteer to go out and help on these different projects.
Yeah. And it's all encompassing. That's part of, the career training that we want them to see, because we want them to understand that it's not only going out and getting a job, but it's also what are you doing in your free time that really helps develop you into an adult and into an individual. And those volunteer community service opportunities that the students participate in, they volunteer for, they're not assigned for them. That really helps them grow, really helps them mature. And I think for the majority of students, it is really edifying for them to go and participate in those environments.
Mm-hmm. How often does enrollment come up for Job Corps?
So right now, the Department of Labor has just kind of, changed our enrollment standards. So we accept new students every 3 weeks now. So
What?
we're actually accepting a brand new group of students starting this Monday, so right after the holiday weekend.
Wow.
Well,
So
it's good timing to get the word out.
yeah. So every 3 weeks there's a few new students. So it's not a large group.
Yeah, we anticipate to take in about 9 students at a time. So as about 9 students exit at the end of the month, we'll take in 9 more students to replace that. So it's continuous enrollment, and the reason for that is so that the program can be tailor-made to each individual student in order to meet their needs.
So you don't have one time of the year where all new students arrive and then everyone exits the program at the same time. And
Yeah, no.
so you have a graduation ceremony every 3 weeks?
No. we actually, what's really fun is about graduation. Graduation usually happens every August, so we call back all the students that had graduated throughout the year that are working to come back to the center. And it's really fun to see, because you start talking to them, especially if they've been out of the program for a few months, and you ask them, well, what's it like being out there and working? And they have some great experiences, and they're also very, thankful of what they were able to learn at Job Corps in their time there at the center.
Well, on that note, we got to take a short break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our nonprofit organizations here in Maui to see what's happening. And right now we're talking with the Maui Job Corps Center and what's happening up there. And I just, every time we have them on the show, it intrigues me how they put this together, because it costs the students nothing to come. They just have to be accepted. I mean, they've got to have certain criteria, character, whatever that is, and then they enroll. And in the 4 different categories, we were talking during the break about what if everybody who wanted to come up there wanted to get into the culinary school.
Yeah, so once again, we have students come in, and when they are first enrolled in the program, they actually do a trade visit to each one of the trades. So whether it's culinary arts, facility maintenance, retail sales, and office administration. And a lot of times students might come in with the notion, hey, I really want to join facility maintenance, but then they discover that, wow, culinary arts, it seems like a great fit for me. Or then they discover retail sales or office administration is a better fit for them as well, too. So we try to, have students be open-minded when they get to the center to try each trade equally, and then to, try the trade that they're actually going to be the most successful in.
And they can change course.
Yeah,
while they're there,
they can change course and that's the benefit of the program is we can really work with each student on a very individual level. So if they get into one trade and it's looking like it's not the most appropriate fit for them, we can go about looking at other options for them to complete. But usually what we like to do is when a student signs up for a trade, we want to see them complete that trade, because it's part of that commitment, learning how to start something and finish it and see it through to the very end.
So once they're going through training, do you have local businesses then that you work with that these students will go out and intern with, or whatever you call your program? Yeah,
we have some wonderful local businesses that we partner with, and those are called WBL, or work-based learning sites. And so they're local businesses that offer to train our students to actually take them off-center and put them in a real-world working environment. So the students aren't just learning from a classroom hands-on perspective, but they're actually working in the field that they're studying at the program. So when they actually exit the program and they say, I do have facility maintenance experience, like in Lena's case, she actually has. She's worked at Maui Montessori School up in Makawao. She understands the ins and outs of actually maintaining that facility. Same thing in retail sales, culinary arts, and also our office administration trade.
So your program, you have job placement assistance, and
Correct.
That's for up to 9 months. That's after the completion of someone completes their course.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is really beneficial to students.
And that's one thing too. We want to make sure that the Job Corps program is going to continue year after year. And one of those reasons is because we want our students to get jobs. So we want to follow up and see how they're doing in their current job, if they're progressing, if they have any questions. So we do. So we actually follow students not only for 9 months, but up to a year after they exit the program, and offer them job placement and career readiness assistance.
So Lena, after you fix up Dad's house, where do you go from there?
I actually want to drive a tugboat. I want to be the captain of a tugboat.
A tugboat?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's like only one of my goals.
Oh, one of them. Okay.
I really,
Okay.
really, really want to be a heavy equipment operator because
Okay.
we're surrounded by cane fields and we see tractors nowadays because they're harvesting right there. So every time I hear a tractor, I wake up in the middle of the night like, oh, I want to go over there and help them. Ever since we had our certification for tractors, so I ended up jumping on a tractor and I ended up learning how to use the backhoe. I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
It's like fun and interesting to me, like how it works. The machine listens to you even though it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
So I really want to be a crane operator.
Nice.
Wow. So interesting. I've got this progression thing going here. She goes into the field there with at Job Corps. All these guys are in building maintenance. She's in building maintenance. She's mama now, and she's going beyond that. She's now taking control of the guys.
Yeah.
Now she's going to take control of the machine.
Exactly.
Cool.
She's the transformer.
Yes. That's neat.
Yeah, you know, before I came to the program, I was like, oh, I'm just going to clean house and wash kids, you know, just whatever. And then when I finally got the opportunity to go to Job Corps, it really changed me, who I am and how I think. Like, it's not, oh, you wake up every day and you just do whatever. It's you wake up every morning and you do your chores. Then you go to class, don't forget to eat, and then you take care of yourself. Like, mentally, you can actually stay busy, stay productive. And it's not just for a moment's time, it's for the rest of your life. It's for your future. You're planning something and you're keeping up with it.
Wow, what a spokesperson for the program, huh?
Definitely.
That's terrific. That's terrific. You had something you wanted to say. I could see it.
Oh, no. I just think the measure of success that you see here at Maui Job Corps is evident because I can't go anywhere on the weekend without seeing one of our former trainees serving my food in the back kitchen at Home Depot. You know, they're at all these different places that I go to, and it's just amazing to see the end result and the success.
Now, Todd, you said that you plan a lot of activities that the students are involved in while they're there. What are some of the activities that are engaged for the students?
My favorite is Beach Day. That is a day. That is a day where, you know, if the students, because I am the SPO, the Student Personnel Officer, we have an agreement with our site director. If the students stay out of trouble, have no major incidents for an extended period of time, he'll give them a break, and we'll get buses and we'll go down to the beach.
Nice.
and take a day to relax and have fun. So that's one of my favorite things. I don't know, what is one of your?
I like our outings because if you do well in your classes and your dorms, if you do well overall in Job Corps, they'll award you to stay like at a level phases. There's level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 3 is the highest.
Okay.
So if I keep my skills legit, I'll stay at level 3 and then we'll be able to go watch a movie or something with the rest of us. So.
Well, because you said the age range was, did you say 16 to 24?
Yes.
That was, okay, so, I mean, we all know what happens between the ages of 16 and 24, and I remember my college days. So, and you have 3 dorms up there. So there must be some student management, let's just say, that goes on.
Yeah, you know what? And so part of the student management, and it was exactly what Todd and Lena were describing, is to reinforce positive behaviors, and that's what we're trying to cultivate, that level of understanding, is that, hey, when you do something positive, you know, when you see something through to completion, when you're participating and you don't look for anything in return, you have positive outcomes, and we want to reward that behavior. And so a lot of times that's what they talked about with our student incentive programs, but we also want to ensure that students are maintaining physical activity, that they're engaged. So we also have a full recreation department up on the center. We have a workout facility where the students can lift weights, where they can dance. We also have arts and crafts for the students as well too, so they can explore, you know, different cultural crafts that they can do, and, you know, just what they can really do after hours to kind of keep themselves and promote a positive image while they're on center.
Yeah, that's really excellent. So it's so much more than just skills building. There's values training as well, and that's really important to send people out into the work world these days with an understanding of knowledge of values. It's so integral to, you know, how you perform at your job.
Exactly. And so that is our goal. It's not just that we want students to exit the program with good job skills. We want the students to exit the program as holistic individuals in all areas of their lives. And I think the testament to the length of the time that the program's been around, how it does have bipartisan support, is a real testament that we have good, solid, hardworking, great community members and citizens when they come out of that program.
How many staff do you have?
Approximately around 50 staff at Maui Job Corps right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 to 1 usually is our staff to student ratio, and it's great. So most staff know each student on a one-on-one individual basis, and that's part of it too, is that we can really cultivate a very caring atmosphere on our center. And we all know it relationships really, really build and edify our student population.
That's terrific. Thank you so much for being with us today. Can you believe your half hour is up already? I mean, it goes that fast.
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you.
And we were talking about if anyone out there is interested in finding out more, you can call Landon.
Landon Johnson, he is our outreach and administration liaison, so he can be contacted at 808-870-8156, and by email at Johnson, JOHNSON .Landon, LANDON @jobcorps.org.
Terrific. And tell Robert we said hi.
Will do.
Robert's your state director for the Maui campus, right?
Yes, he's our site director up at Maui Job Corps.
Cool. Thank you so much. A pleasure meeting all of you, and keep up the good work. And we look forward to seeing you operating that crane.
Good luck, Lena.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to shift gears here real quick. And if everybody can shift with us, we are going into actually totally different territory, aren't we here? Dean is going to shift gears and now be a guest instead of a co-host. And we're going to talk about your big project. Shoot, it's what, this is half your life, isn't it? Getting the camp ready?
It certainly feels like it. It takes an entire year from one camp to the next to get this week of Camp Imua together. And I'm proud to introduce Adrienne Lorian, who is here with us today, and she's our camp coordinator. She becomes our camp manager during the week of camp and makes sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do.
Now wait. She's camp coordinator for 51 weeks out of the year, and then she becomes camp manager.
Something like that. It takes a lot of time to coordinate getting camp put together. All of the donations, the in-kind support, the volunteers, all of that coordination. But during the week of camp, she's the go-to gal. She's the manager.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it for about 7 years. When I first started, I came in and volunteered my time in the kitchen. So I started off chopping up vegetables, and now I am the camp manager.
And she still is in the kitchen chopping
I'm
up
still
vegetables.
I'll bet there's times that you're
my kids
just
are in
anywhere.
there now. My kids are now in the kitchen crews.
I
so.
gotcha. Very good. So Camp Imua is coming up June 7th?
We're June 8th to the 13th.
Okay. And are you full?
We are full with campers. We've actually started a wait list.
Wow.
Yes.
And we're not happy about that, of course. We wish that we could
Accommodate all of them.
accommodate every child camper that wants to come to Camp Imua, but really the limitation on us is not so much about what we can handle and the amount of caregivers and volunteers and the support that we have, as much as it is the facilities themselves can only accommodate so many individuals. And for those of you who are listening who don't know what Camp Imua is, we shouldn't make that assumption that everybody does. But Camp Imua is a 1-week-long recreational overnight camp for children with special needs. And so they have very special requirements. And so if, for example, we have 50 or 55 special needs campers, we need sometimes 2 or 3 24/7 caregivers who can be responsible to help care for the needs of that particular camper throughout the week of camp. And that's very important to the mission of camp, because it allows the parents to totally have that week of respite, that they need from caring for a special needs child. And the only way they're going to have that full out rest, relaxation, and faith that their child is being cared for is to know that there's enough people there to handle the care that's required for their individual child.
Right. So the facilities have to hold not only the campers but all of these helpers that are there. And
yes, and nurses and lifeguards and medical help and and counselors and cooks and who else am I missing? Oh, there's so many staff.
Yes, and we have lots of high school students that come up and help us too, and we're just really excited to have them all up. Yes, there's a big bunch of us, probably about 200, that will take over the facilities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is this a volunteer thing, or
This
some
is-
staff paid? Or
This is volunteers for all the high school kids that come up and act as caregivers. Our nurses, who are emergency room nurses, volunteer their time to come up. So we have a couple of staff, but a majority of everyone that comes up do come up on a volunteer basis. A lot of the schools, this is their community service hours.
I see. Wow, what a way to give.
Yeah, and when teens start volunteering for Kapimua, they typically will keep coming back. It's such an awakening experience for them. It's such a life-changing and transforming experience for them. At that high school age where so much of your focus is always on the me, the self, you
right.
know, and then to come up and be a caregiver for a special needs child where your attention cannot be on yourself, but totally needs to be on the care of another individual, it can be a real eye-opening experience for a teenager.
Do you see lots of these teenagers go on to enter into professional lives that have to do with kids with special needs?
We do. We hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they go into either the health profession or other services. We have several that come back year after year because they just really love the camp experience and they love being with kids with special needs and serving them, really.
We have staff at Imua Family Services, a social worker who started off as a volunteer for Camp Imua at Seabury Hall, and then has, since graduated, gone away, gotten her master's degree in social work, and now is working at Imua Family Services.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I know one of the events that you had leading up to Camp Imua was the Paddle Imua
Yes.
a couple weeks ago. How'd that go?
May 4th, Paddle Imua was extremely successful, and I don't know if people recall that particular weekend, but the Saturday, May 4th, the weather was spectacular. The sun was out. It was gorgeous. We had an amazing race day with over 150 paddler participants. And, they launched from Maliko Gulch, and while there wasn't a lot of wind to carry them from behind, they made that, 10-mile run down to Hawaiian Canoe Club, and it was a spectacular day. There was so much excitement on the beach, and a great party afterwards with awards and prizes, and some water relays, and a lot of our camper families came down, and kids got to be really engaged with the athletes, and it was just a great combination of enthusiasm and excitement, and it was just a spectacular day, and it really did benefit Camp Imua and continues to do that year after year and support this program.
That's terrific. I know we talked about it before the event, and then that weekend hit, and it's like, wow, you're right. The weather was absolutely awesome.
And then the next day, the weather took a turn.
Yeah,
and it was terrible.
And the ocean
So
was bad.
We were so thankful. Yes,
Yeah.
we were.
Meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we're in full swing with the camp itself. What kind of activities do these children get to take part in?
We have a lot of activities set up for them. We're very excited. It's just a week long. Everything is packed from the second that they wake up till the second they go to bed. They have a full load of great activities. Quite a wide range of things.
There's helicopter rides,
Helicopter rides.
What?
Zip lining.
zip lining.
We go to Pi'iholo Zip Line, and everybody gets to zip. We use Olawalu Estates, and we have a day out there where we will be using their facilities, jumping in the water. Goofy Foot will be there. TheraSurf will be there. They can get surf lessons, stand-up paddling lessons.
But the cardboard boat races.
Yes. We actually get refrigerator
Boxes.
and
duct tape,
and
most
duct
importantly.
tape, yes. And we have some great races, and we have a camper inside there, and they race, and it's just a lot of fun. We have lay making.
They don't really
going
race.
on.
They usually sink.
I was going to say, yeah.
They race to the bottom of the ocean. But.
Yes.
Okay, on that note, let's take a short break. We'll
Okay,
be
great.
right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Welcome back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes. We're talking story right now with the folks from Imua Family Services. The camp coordinator for Camp Imua, Adrian Lorian, is telling us about some of the activities that take place that week. I'm just sitting here. My chin is on the table because of all the things these kids get to do that normally they would never have an opportunity to hardly even watch, let alone be a part of.
Well, and I think that you just touched on a very specific point, and you might wonder why we jam so much special kind of activity into the week of camp, and that is exactly the reason, is that with special needs children, there are often so many things that they're not given the opportunity to do or experience, or it requires an enormous amount of care to give them that experience. So while other children might be going on field trips and outings to school or family activities, these children may never be given the opportunity to get on a zip line or to ever get in the ocean or on a surfboard. And so we do it, but we do it with an enormous amount of preparation and care for it. Sometimes, giving a child an opportunity to get on a surfboard in Olawalo in some safe waters, but there might be 2 or 3 people, of course, standing around that surfboard and physically holding the child in a way that they can manage the experience. And so it takes a lot of care, a lot of watchful eyes, a lot of consideration, a lot of it takes a long time to get everywhere and do everything with this many children. And you have to be able to offer them the time out when they can't participate. Some children have to take medications at certain times, or naps at certain times, or eat certain kinds of food at certain times of the day. So everything we do at camp, while very structured, is all centered around the individual needs of the child, and we have to allow for that to move how camp moves as well.
On that note, I was looking at the enrollment form, which is like 15 pages, or something like that, because it does have all these things for the special medicines, the times, the type of things.
Sleeping patterns,
all just everything. And by the way, for those of you who know Adrian, that's not her talking.
Oh.
we've got Dean Wong, who's the executive.
And Dean is fantastic at talking camp.
Yes.
He loves camp.
I can tell. He's almost there when he's talking about it. Dean Wong is the executive director of Imua Family Services. Always a pleasure to have you on board with us.
Thank you.
And it's just, this is just such an awesome thing. I can see why 1 week is about all you can do.
Yeah. Adrian, could you handle more?
Well, we probably could.
Really?
We would love to. We actually would like to expand, and I really think that's because we want to serve. We want to serve more. We want to do more. So we are actually looking into what we can do in the future to provide more for the families in our community.
So we're looking at, because we can't take more people at the same time for the 1 week, we're expanding. We're looking at adding days to camp, and some specialty types of camps. We're looking at starting an autism camp, specifically with children with autistic needs. We're also going to look at perhaps a camp that supports children with Down syndrome specifically. And this year, we're adding a component to camp that we're very excited about. And Adrian, why don't you tell them a little bit about this?
We do have a deaf camp. We have some students that are coming in with their aids. We're very excited to have them come in. And really, they're going to come and observe and watch. And then they're going to tell us exactly what they like and what they would like to see a camp for them, yes. So we're hoping that our next step would be to have, I believe, the only deaf camp in the state. So we're looking forward to being able to provide that.
And we started preparing for this even a year ago at Camp Imua. We offered the opportunity to caregivers and volunteers to start taking American Sign Language classes, telling them that we would be starting to introduce camp to deaf children, and so that we needed to start making sure that we could communicate.
It was interesting that one of the first groups you talked about having a special camp for was autistic children. I just heard on the radio this morning something about 1,000% increase in autism in the last
year.
20 years? No.
Well, here's last year in April, when we were doing our fundraiser, Fantasia Ball, I had publicly announced, because it was Autism Awareness Week, that the number of children born with autism was now 1 in 83. This year, when I did the same fundraiser, that number had changed from 1 in 83 to 1 in 50.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how dramatic the increase is and how quickly it is becoming more apparent. So
is it more awareness, or is it, sometimes we say that. I mean, like with breast cancer, when we started doing mammographies, it was like, oh my gosh, there's an increase in breast cancer, but there wasn't. It's just that we found it.
Right. Well, with autism, we sort of have to understand that it's really an increase in children with autism, because you're not aware when a child has something. Now, it also might be that more things are included in the spectrum of what autism is, and so we understand that it's part of the spectrum. But at the same time, we're also realizing that, for reasons unbeknownst to many, that there just is a dramatic increase in autism in children, and particularly in boys.
Really?
More than girls.
And this same announcement had something to the effect that the earlier you become aware of it, the better it is for the child.
Absolutely. And I think we've talked about this before, that birth to 3 is extremely critical time to recognize autism in children. However, a child can progress and reach their milestones very normally in the first year and second year and going into the third year. And then there can start to be almost a reversion, like a child can start to revert. And that's where it's important to pick up on those signals really quickly and have a child tested or evaluated.
I got you. We kind of went off the subject here a little bit, but it's just, the numbers are staggering.
Yeah, well, it speaks to the fact that there is a need for it. We definitely at Imua Family Services right now, the number one situation that we're treating in development for is autism. And because there are so many children with autism, we can see a need for having a camp that is specific to those particular needs. And that with a camp for autism, it would change how we provide dietary needs for children and the kinds of recreations and all those sorts of things. So we're trying to look at the populations that we're serving and see if we can tailor camp to be more specific.
It's definitely not going to be one size fits all.
That's right. It's not now.
It's not now, right? Yeah, even in this 1 week of camp, there's lots of little pockets of things happening.
Yes.
For the different needs of the children.
Yes.
Just getting them out on surfboards. I mean, that's just incredible to me.
Yeah.
Or the zip line.
Horseback riding. We have the fire department comes up with a truck. The police department comes up with cars. All of these things are so exciting for the kids.
We have the PE Hall. We also have the horses come up. Jillian brings up her horses. They stay up there the whole time with us. So it's just great. We have arts and crafts going on. We have volleyball. Just activities that, there's something to do for the whole day. And then we also have some great activities at night. We'll have campfires, s'mores. We have
the talent show.
The talent show. Yes, that's very exciting. We have
Camp's favorite talent show.
And we have a big dance and ice cream social. We have Make-A-Wish, Making a Difference Foundation that will be coming up, which is the Merkaba Fire Protection. Brian and his group come up, and they just put on an outstanding show that not only the campers like, but wow, the high school students are just amazed at what kind of a show that they put on for everybody. It's just a great week, really a lot of fun, and just the energy between all the campers and the kids, and it's really a great week.
I bet it's hard for everybody to say goodbye when it's time to go home.
It is. It's we end the week of camp with a luau, and the parents and caregivers are able to come back and be with us for the luau. So it becomes a very big ohana, evening, and the kids are excited to see their parents, but they're sad that camp is over, and the parents are excited to see their kids, but they're sad that their week of respite is over. And all the caregivers and Adrienne and Miley are all exhausted, and they're glad to see camp being finished for the week.
Yeah. It's good to go home and take a shower.
So, yeah, right. For the first time in a
Yes,
week,
yes.
and not being on the campsite. What age groups are we talking about?
5 to age 20.
Really?
Yes, so we have quite a wide range, and that might be changing in the future too, looking at the different ages that we can accommodate. But right now, that is where that's what we have right now, is age 5 to 20. And then we also have on one of the days, Graduate Camper Day. So for those that have aged out, they can come over on Tuesday and come up and do Graduate Day, and they can do the helicopter rides, they can tie-dye a camp shirt, they can go into the pool, they can go horseback riding. So we accommodate not just those 50, but we also accommodate on one of the days all the graduate campers to come back and enjoy another day of camp.
How many years of camp have we got?
37.
Oh my gosh.
We started in 1976.
It was one of the first things Imua put together.
Well, I mean, no,
Or was
not
it
really,
before
because we
Imua?
started in 1947.
Oh, right,
We're
right.
66 years old.
That's
but
right, that's
camp has always been a significant program since it did start in its conception, and it really has not changed in its mission very much. And the fact that it is supported by the community, and the food is donated, and so much of what happens at camp only can happen because of people's contribution to it. That hasn't changed in the 37 years. And even our good mayor makes shoyu chicken
Yes, he does.
for the campers
Yes,
every
he
year.
does.
So
Excellent.
Wow.
Yes.
Gosh, I'm sitting here trying to picture all of this. It's hard. It
Well,
really is hard
you know what,
to imagine.
Susie? You don't have to. Why don't you come up
Come
and
out.
join
There we
us
go.
for a night or a day
There
at
we
Camp
go.
Imua and get a picture of it for yourself.
Yeah.
It really does open your eyes to a population that we often don't get to see enjoying the kinds of activities that the campers get to have. It's just, people will put it out there and say, well, maybe that's too physical for you, or, you shouldn't, it's not safe, or, it's, they don't know how to engage a camper in that kind of way. But that's what Camp Imua is about, to give kids those life experiences that they don't get to enjoy otherwise.
To not necessarily stretch them to a limit, but to expand the possibilities for them.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a camper who has, Nikki, I won't say her full name, but has been coming up to camp for how many years now? She's 17.
Oh, she's probably coming up since she was 5 or 6 years old.
Right. And she, at Paddle-i-Mua, got to have the experience of getting on a stand-up paddleboard with Andrea Muller. And, she just had never done it before because everyone assumed that she couldn't do that. And she stood up on a stand-up paddleboard with Andrea and her help and had the time of her life. And it was such an amazing experience for her to be with a star athlete like
Right.
that, but also just to be in the ocean on a stand-up paddleboard and feeling, that experience. And those are the kinds of experiences we want. Camp is something when you're a child, no matter whether you're a special needs child or not, you remember your camp experiences, and they carry you through your life. You always will look back fondly on that, and that's what we're creating. We're creating memories for a lifetime.
Right. That's I don't know where to go beyond that. It's like,
I think one thing that's
wow.
really nice, if you were to come up and experience our camp, one thing that I also really enjoy is seeing all of our high school kids that are up there, and they're giving of their time. And usually when maybe they're walking in the halls and they see somebody with special needs and they kind of walk right past them, well, when they're up at camp, they really develop this relationship, and a friendship is developed, and they create memories, a camp memory with this child with special needs. And it's really nice to see. And at the end of camp, when all the campers leave, we have the high school kids stay back and tell stories. Give us an example of, something that happened during the week. And I have to say that's really magical for me to hear that, because that is our future. And just to know that that seed is planted where they're going to start caring for the community and caring for those with special needs, to me that also is just really an exciting point, and something that is great to witness as an adult, to see these high school kids get that type of experience too.
they get past the point of ignoring them.
Yes.
And
It changes their level of compassion
Yes.
entirely, and I think they can't turn a blind eye to it anymore once they've had that experience. Once they've given that care, that 24-hour care, and they understand how much it takes and what's involved in doing it, and they can't ignore it from that point on any longer.
it's just I think about their futures, and should they have a child with special needs down the road, their experiences are going to come into play, and that child is going to have a special life because of that. And I know we hope that that's an extreme situation, but all it takes is one.
It's true. And, people out there listening are thinking, well, how do you volunteer for camp, or how do you get involved, and how can I support camp? Then, just go to emuafamilyservices.org, our website, click on Camp EMUA. There's camper applications, there's camp volunteer applications that you can look at, or you can just call our office and talk to Adrian. We always, say that we have a need for things like fruits and vegetables and, any kinds of contributions that can come to our kitchen. Those things are desperately always needed.
Yes.
And donations and sponsoring a child at camp.
Always possible,
Always
for sure.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to get involved that way. That's a great possibility. I mean, we will always provide camp to children without any financial means, of course, and there's no payment required for camp. But we can always use the help. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to put camp
Right.
on.
So basically, it's the first 48, 50 that apply, or there's some criteria obviously that they have to meet.
Right, exactly. But we just take them from the time we start accepting applications. We
Right.
just take them as they come.
Wow. Gosh, wouldn't it be fabulous? I'm sitting here thinking, okay, once you've got this all put into place, wouldn't it be fabulous if you could do 3 times a year or something?
Yeah, it really would be. Yeah, and
Adrian's sitting there going, oh my gosh.
I do love camp, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
We just have to clone you. And then we could do that, yeah. But it's such an awesome thing, and I appreciate both of you coming on today and sharing information on it. And for those out there who can give a week, you're still looking for volunteers.
yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes.
And any special area, or just someone who cares?
Anybody that cares, if they have their lifeguard certification, CPR, our arts and craft extraordinaire, give us a call.
Very good.
They can go on our website.
At emuafamilyservices.org, or they can call us directly at 244-7467.
7467.
That's right.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. And I will see if I can clear a day and head out there.
Yeah, visit us. We'd
Because
love to have you.
it's so fantastic. I just, it's one of those things, you can't imagine it. I mean, you got to be a part of it.
You do.
Anyway, so we've come to the end of another show, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, the show is sponsored by Pacific Source, the Builder's Choice. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors and their organizations. And today we visited with the Maui Hawaii Job Corps and with Maui Family EMUA Family Services. Hello, the wrong organization crept in there. We encourage everyone out there to get involved by giving, advocating, or volunteering for your favorite nonprofit. Do it today. What are you waiting for? The MauiNonprofit.org is the website if you want to check out our member agencies. And we, again, thank you for tuning in. Be right back here next week, same time, same place, when we'll feature 2 more representatives of agencies. My name is Susie Tiemann. We've got Dean Long. We've got Adrian Lorian. And Gary, did we make it? Aloha, everyone.